Hello, I'm Toycat, and let's be honest, we've all been there. You zoom into Greenland because you're curious as to what they're doing in that weird sheet of ice, and you decide to go and zoom in a little bit closer in the satellite view, and all of a sudden, black boxes appear. You wonder if maybe the water is just black in this oddly specific rectangle, and then blue over here, and then a slightly lighter blue over there, and then you realize that that can't be right because why would there be an orange island over here? Why does Google Maps do something like this? Well, you assume maybe it's just Greenland. I mean, who's up there to check the maps anyway? So you go to a massive developed country like Spain and you think, well, they'll get it right. And although it's a little bit strange when you zoom in a little closer and see the ocean is bluer when it's closer to the land, you think this is actually exactly what Spain looks like from above, and you have no questions whatsoever, except actually, why is there a black and white part of this city? I thought Spain moved to color in the 50s like the rest of the world, but apparently not over here. Also, next to the black and white bit, there's this weird color faded area, and wait, there's just a full-on blurred spot right there. That is incredibly odd. Do you see this? It's not a square, it's a weirdly curved circle, and it covers it doesn't just cover like this building over here, which by the way isn't a secret. You can street view it, you can find out exactly what it is, but you can't search it up and you can't see what it looks like from above. Why would they not mind you looking at this building from the side, but they would from above? There's something weird going on there. Even Area 51 isn't blurred on Google Maps, but this random Spanish town has a government office of some form that is a military residence that is. That is a very strange fact. And why is it that all of these things exist in slightly different colors when clearly you can tell the ground doesn't change there? This is, to answer a simple question, Google Maps' worst feature, and let me dive into it today because I spend far too much time on Google Maps, and it's something that will bother you if you do too, because even stuff like the ocean, zoom into a random spot anywhere in the world and you'll realize that the resolution of the ocean data isn't very precise. It looks really odd, like there are islands here which shouldn't exist. This is something, if you've ever watched the documentary on MH380, it's a big problem because people think they might find an airplane wreckage by zooming in real close and seeing like, oh, does this look like a plane? And the answer is no, it often looks like the Google text but super low res. But there's some really interesting cases where places you would expect to be very well visible on Google Maps kind of just aren't, because take for example, let's go with the obvious example, North Korea is terribly visible on Google Maps, right? Except no, that's not true. Pyongyang you can zoom into anywhere in the city, any military base, any embassy, anything major, you can just go look at it as close as as a satellite can view it. Whereas interestingly enough, of the two Koreas, the one you can't see is South Korea. The reason why, did you see this? Like, you see how awful South Korea looks on a map? It's terrible. You can barely see what's happening, and the reason for this is because although North Korea might have all sorts of rules about what you can do with mapping data of their country, you don't have to listen to them. They're not a major trading partner. They don't even have the internet. They use a weird version of it that's internal to North Korea, whereas South Korea is a friend, and so you have to listen to their weird laws that say only South Korean companies can use the most detailed data, which means that Google Maps sucks in South Korea. Everyone uses a local app there, and so that's really interesting. You might expect that like there are all sorts of government reasons. One of my favorite things is that Germany, for example, doesn't have Street View in the vast majority of the country. Seriously, look at Europe right here. It covers everything in Europe everything in the EU, I guess I should say, plus the UK, with the interesting exception being Germany, because they have weird privacy laws that Google Maps stopped bothering to navigate. So they just figured, okay, if everyone's gonna blur their house anyway, has everyone blurred their house here? Surprisingly not. Usually Germany's filled with them. If everyone's just gonna blur their house anyway, this isn't an official Google Maps one. This is just a guy who put it on their car, I think. Good job, Rudolph. Anyway, I hope you're able to deal with your new side hustle of mapping Google Maps alongside, obviously delivering presents every Christmas Eve. Anyway, but the point here is to say that although there are areas like that have political reasons, there are also just areas in the world that have terrible mapping data available. So let me show you an island that has no reason to be blurry. Australia, right? Australia has no secrets to hide. They're good friends of everyone. But if you go to any of their islands, honestly, I can't even find where their islands are. If you go to their islands, they all look like absolute crap, right? I mean, is this even an island? It's hard to be... Okay, there's an island there that just appears out of nowhere. Do you see that? It's a blurred blue, and then there's an island. Is it a real island? Are those trees? Are those shrubs? What's going on there? If you try to look at basically anywhere in Australia, I was trying to look at, I was trying to look at an island recently, and you won't find any real data on it because mapping data sucks in that part of the world. And the reason for this, the reason why, even if you go to my city, so London, right? This is one of the most photographed and mapped and viewed places in the world. But yeah, even when you go to London, we'll still look at that. See how our islands have the same problem to some extent? Look at this, although you can see better when you zoom in. If you go to London, a city of 8 million people, you'll spot something interesting as you zoom in, and that is this area right here. I can't tell you exactly why this data is of a lower quality than everything else, but if you look in real close, you'll see, interestingly enough, that like, yeah, there is an area. So first of all, look at the River Thames. I know it's disappointing that it's brown. It's meant to be a river and it's brown, and we don't question it because we're patriotic or something. But there's a brown river flowing through London. Seriously, look how brown it is. This is what green looks like. This is what blue looks like. And this is brown. I think that's copper, right? Some pretty well-aged copper, if you ask me. But then there's this area right here, which is not brown. It's gray? Blue, would you call that? And the reason for this is because it comes from a different mapping company. You can prove that by looking down here. You can see this comes from Google Imagery of Maxar Technologies, whereas if we go over here, you can see this comes in from, oh, actually, it's Maxar Technologies as well, but you can see at the bottom where all the data comes from. This is from CNES, Blue Sky, Get Mapping PLC, Infoterra Limited, and all these different companies. Basically, getting maps of the world isn't a thing that has ever been done all in one place. You might think to yourself, looking at the world like this, that there is just one map that covers the entirety of the planet, because Google Maps so seamlessly lets you believe that you can zoom, or Google Earth, I guess, with some extent doing, you can zoom in anywhere in the world and you can just see what it looks like right there. This is Fonto de Rey in Spain. Isn't it an interesting place? If we go 3D, we can look at the buildings there. Do you see? Also, by the way, I can't believe I didn't know this till the comments of my last video. You can press Control and actively look around the world as if you're magically flying over it in a plane, but I'm not magically flying over it in a plane. I'm using Google Maps. Look at their houses there. They're all detached. Are they rich, or are they just very bad at using land? I don't know the answer. But the fact that you can do this is kind of nutty, right? For basically anywhere on the Earth, but it's not that Google has this magical view of the world. They don't have a satellite looking all the way out here, or a camera maybe you could say, that can just look and has such high resolution it can zoom in anywhere. That's not how any satellites work. That is not how, even if you could have a satellite with the highest resolution camera available to man, and you had lots of them and they stitched an image together, you would never get the resolution needed to view the fact that, like for example, if you go all the way into Luton, right next to the train station, you'd be able to say that there's a Papa J's, or like, where is the, okay. So if you go all the way into Luton, you'd be able to see the remains of Best Kebab, which we can do right now. Do you see that? That is insane. That's not some camera that's, what this is actually lots of different maps being used. So this is Get Mapping PLC. We'll just use them as the first one. But then as we zoom out, we've got all sorts of different companies providing a map of this area, and then a different company providing a map of the entirety of the UK, and then a different company, presumably satellite imagery, which does this very broad thing. This broad image of the Earth is the most accurate one because it's what the world looks like, but when you get closer to things, you want a higher resolution of detail. When I zoom into Dublin, I want to see what this bridge looks like. I maybe even want to see the markings on the road. Do you see that? I can tell this is a bike lane as well as a bus lane, but it's a right turning lane as well, maybe, or maybe it's both. It's fun to see. I can tell that this road has 3 lanes on the left side and 4 lanes on the right side. I can get into all sorts of weird details. Do you want to see some? I bet you do. I can zoom all the way in to Chester here, and I can say, wow, you know what's in Chester? Oh, it's very flat here. Funnily enough, so this is one of those crazy facts. So before we dive into the reasoning and why, I actually want to dive into Amsterdam a little bit, because I saw an amazing bridge. It blew my mind in Amsterdam recently, because they build bridges around their city, because they have, everyone thinks Amsterdam's all cyclists, but they have huge motorways all around it, and they build these motorways underwater. So it looks like this, It's a, you know, can you kind of see how it's a major motorway? Look at this, and then it goes under a river, and it's an amazing feat that I wanted to show off in 3D. And so I was looking over here, and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of nuts, right? Like, if you look around it and you go, whoa, you can see it going underground. But then you look to the left here, and we switch to a different satellite view, one which clearly sucks by comparison, a different set of maps. And on this side, the entire world is 2D. It is flat. I know the Netherlands is, you know, meant to be a real flat place, but I didn't realize just how flat it got. Do you see this? I'm zoomed in as low as we can get, and it's just all terrible and flat right up until here, where the depth comes back. Why is that the case? Different maps, not all of which have 3D data points. Why do they not have 3D data points for some maps and they do for others? I don't know. Why is it that Amsterdam has all these different maps in it, and no one's gone through and updated, like, this area to make it 3D? I mean, I don't know the answer to that question. These trees are 2D on this side, but then we switch over to this side, and I can see the Amity International School. It's very interesting. And so yeah, before we leave behind the subject of weird politics, I also want to dive in something interesting, because, you know, to go back to the weird, super blurry place, which if you want to find, by the way, you can't type in its actual thing. Type in Bartolo, and then go to the one in Almeria, which is a weird thing to do. Apparently Bartolo is a popular name. But if you look right here, you'll see that this is inside the blur zone. Do you want to go to Bartolo, the tapas bar? You might be able to. Yeah, unbeatable price quality, good treatment, and rich tapas. You know, it sounds great, right? Yeah, and you can street view it if you really want to, but obviously it's blurred out right here. Is this Bartolo? There it is. It's tiny. I bet they get a lot of government employees. You see, it looks like a normal apartment complex, right? It's maybe that's deliberate, maybe that's how Spain hides their stuff. But the interesting thing here is, like, well, you know, this place is blurred, presumably at the request of the Spanish government. You would have to assume it's something like that. And it's really weird because all sorts of other things that are really sensitive just are not blurred in the same way. So let's take this, for example, the Michael Army Airfield. This is an incredibly it's an incredibly controversial airfield, actually. They believe, you know, it's like the new Area 51. Area 51, everyone knows about it. So if you were going to hide secrets, you wouldn't hide it there. So conspiracy theorists believe that Michael Army Airfield is actually that. However, if I type in Michael Army Airfield, it can't find it. I mean, it definitely exists, right? As you can see, it's got a Wikipedia page and an article. It's got some coordinates, and we can type in those coordinates if we really want to. You know, actually, I didn't think about that before. Let's see what happens if we do that. Is Google Maps going to be mad with me? It is not. See, this is a very secret airfield, and which, by the way, does have a Google Maps locator. It's just deliberately vague. Dugway MDP DPG 284. They don't want to seem like they're hiding it, because if you hide something, it's a way of amplifying it. They just say, yeah, if you look for it, it's going to be real boring. And then you find that there is this incredibly secretive place where you can't find out many details, but in reality, you just can't Google Maps it. Google Maps won't give you those directions. Is that hiding it? Or, you know, is that censorship? Is that a way of hiding the base in an effective way? You let me know. But one of the weird things about this is the fact that everything around here is a bit weird. So the airport has no reviews. You cannot leave one on the air if you want to. But you can see reviews for the Lincoln Highway Bridge. I don't know where this bridge actually is, by the way. It definitely isn't here, right? Can we all agree that if they're, you know, like if we go to 3D view, just to confirm, this is definitely not the Lincoln Highway Bridge. This is a parking lot. This is some sand, and this is, yeah, so anyway, the thing is all the reviews for this bridge reference the secret things happening at the airfield, and it's like, I love bridges so much, heck yeah, I love bridges. It's a very weird thing, right? Someone moved a highway here, and they got away with it too, by the way, so they could comment on the secret biological weapons they believe they're manufacturing. Actually, is it a secret? Let's find out. So it's been called the new Area 51. They develop defenses against biological and chemical attacks, because obviously, who knows when that's going to happen. So the interesting thing about this is, like, yeah, this place is just visible. It's just on Google Maps, and someone managed to get the Lincoln Highway. Seriously, I want to know where that actually is meant to be. Is it in Utah? Okay, it's not there, is it? Where is the Lincoln Highway? Okay, you know what? Easy way to find this one out. Let's find out with Wikipedia. Army of Truth here. So the Lincoln Highway Bridge. Oh, it actually is a historic bridge. Okay. Well, wait, so why does it have a... Is there a bridge here? Am I just not seeing it? There's no highway here. I'm so confused. Is it one of these bridges around here, maybe? Is that a... Whatever it is. Okay, you know what? There is a bridge somewhere in the area that makes me even more confused now. But yeah, there's all sorts of weird things that happen when you look at maps. One of the things that people love is when you zoom into like Egypt, for example, and you see, you know, these are all things that you can see explained on the channel. But if you zoom into Egypt, you'll see that like the land. Oh, this one's actually all in squares. But if you zoom into most places, you see a lot of circles, and they look like Pac-Man and pie charts. This is because whenever you draw a graph in like PowerPoint or any form of mapping service, computational power to work out how to draw that pie chart is too hard, so they just do it in the desert and they use a picture of that. That's true. Don't fact check that. But no, more seriously, there are all sorts of weird things that we've covered before on this channel in reality and not in fakeness, and it makes you question, like, why is it this way? Why is it that someone can, why is it that things can be this inaccurate, this weirdly covered up and broken? But yeah, if you go to London again, this is just a bother of mine. I was in Deptford recently to go for £4, to get, for £6, I believe it was, drinks and food at a place called Buster Mantis. What a lovely place I mentioned before. But while I was there, I noticed Deptford Bridge Station has this London Overground logo on it. But if you look, there are no London Overground trains. There's just the Docklands Light Railway. In fact, it's kind of funny because if you read through here, it's like, yeah, well, actually, if you read through it, you can see like, why is there an overground loco? And it's like, yeah, it probably shouldn't have one, but it just does anyway. And it's wrong. It's correct when a guy with a Maryland flag says that. I shouldn't be doing this. Anyway, the weird thing to say here is Google Maps is filled with weird errors like that. And will they ever go away? Probably not. I don't know. What's another great example? Like, Stratford's a huge place. It's got a circle for, oh, that's interesting. They come in different sizes there. But yeah, my point is with this video is the Google Maps has all sorts of problematic features, and I don't know. I don't like them. Do you like them? Do you think they're fun? But yeah, the overall reason is just because Google Maps is lots of stitched maps together. The map for the Isle of Lundy? Oh, this is where the birds that look fake are. What are they look black and white and they're cute. You know the birds, right? I'm talking about geese. But no, obviously, what, puffins, I think they are? Like, they're the most fake-looking animal in the world. But anyway, so this is an island that looks different to its surroundings because this was slightly they put more effort into mapping this at a higher resolution than you would for the ocean. The ocean's water. Why would anyone map it at any resolution? It's going to look the same here as it does over there, so instead we have these low-quality Google Maps, whereas when you zoom into Carmarthen, I knew a girl from Carmarthen once. I don't know if she knew me. But the point is I don't know why she was from Carmarthen. I don't know, like, at some point when you leave somewhere like this, you don't want to go back, right? There we go. Anyway, with that said, have to do my obligatory dunking on small towns. But the point here is, like, yeah, you look at Carmarthen and it's flat. Yeah, you think the Earth's not flat? Well, look at this Welsh town. But yeah, it's ridiculous that this is zoomed in. However, someone might want to see what their house looks like from above. When I was buying a house, let me dox myself real quick. When I was buying a house, because I live here not there. I live over. So it takes me a while to find it sometimes. I live all the way over here. When I was buying a house, I wanted to know where the boundary was. So I went into 3D view. Okay, I don't actually live in Greenland. Okay, when I was buying a house, as I definitely did in my favorite part of the world, when I was buying a house, I wanted to see where the boundary ended, and I wanted to, like, it was kind of curious to me. So an easy way to do that is you go on Google Maps, and you can see precisely that. This is the weirdest looking tree I've ever seen. Oh, it's very weird. But the fact is, this is actually a super useful tool. Yeah, everything's a little bit off here, but isn't this incredible detail of this one street in Vegas? So a lot of people accuse me of doxing myself in a video recently. Okay, I'm gonna use the arrow keys for a smoother experience. Isn't this cool? It's like I'm flying over Vegas right now in a very dangerous way. Please don't report me to the US. Anyway, so if we go through here real carefully, a lot of people accuse me of doxing myself in a recent video, and it's like, no, I moved out. That's why But anyway, so if you want to go look at the apartment building from that video, you can totally do it. It's over here somewhere, and wow, isn't that incredible? Okay, so you can look around and you can see, like, whoa, from the outside. Do you want to see my pool? Whoa, what is this happening here? You want to see the pool to a hotel you're staying in. Wow, that's crazy. Do you want to see me swimming in a pool? I bet you can do that. But this was a place I was gonna wipe somewhere. By the way, seeing their pool from Google Maps is handy. Seeing it in 3D is honestly not that handy. You need pretty high resolution data. But yeah, you want to see the place where you want to see the place where a homeless person started calling me a bitch because he thought I said something to him, and then just like got real aggressive with me? It was this bridge right here. I don't know where this video's going. I just know I found some weird artifacts in the sky though. That's kind of cool, huh? Anyway, they come from these towers. For some reason, it's just assumed they're not there. Anyway, if you want to see more weird things, then subscribe, because I, apparently, according to this one tweet, I have pretty bad ADHD, because if you're neurotypical, when you unload the dishwasher, you don't think. But if you think about things when you unload the dishwasher, you do. And so, I don't know, that or like, according to the internet, like autism or something. So give me Patreon money, and I'll use it to buy a kebab if you identify and or don't identify with those things. There we go. Patreon.com/toycat. I do make sure that all the money goes solely to irresponsible purchases that you wouldn't approve of if you were doing it in person. You know, it's like, you know, I aspire to be the internet equivalent of the homeless person who takes your money and buys a timeshare and a Lamborghini and then I know a donut or two. But if you want to give me a timeshare Lamborghini as well as a donut or two, then you can go to patreon.com/toycat. You have to do it. I don't know. I don't have any backing to that. I would like it if you did it though. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one. Oh yeah, you can see the view from a place. Oh, it's way too late at night. I've got to stop doing this. Goodbye.